Hi, I'm Dino Tripodis. Welcome to Whiskey Business, a podcast not so much about whiskey as it is one with whiskey, and part 2 of our special holiday podcast as we do a running commentary on one of the greatest holiday movies of all time, It's a Wonderful Life. This is part 2, which, will dispel with some of the magic. It's still part 1 for us. This is all in one sitting.
We're doing this in one
Same bottle.
with our guest bottle, Old Overholt Straight Rye Whiskey. And for those of you who actually have stuck with us through part 2, our YouTube producer, John Whitney, has a couple of technical things to share with you.
If you're listening to the podcast and want to follow along with a big screen TV, you can start the movie. The run has just happened on the bank. They've just given up all their money from their honeymoon, and he's gotten the phone call to go to the Waldorf Astoria Hotel, right?
Which is his house.
Which is his house. There's about to be a left to right wipe, which is basically a transition where it looks like a wipe. And you're about to see a shot of somebody walking in the rain.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you start.
It's about an hour in.
About an hour in.
We're about an hour in. Also, our guest commentator is Johnny Diloretto over here to my left, who forgot that he agreed on the last podcast we did together to watch what he considers to be one of the most difficult movies for you to watch.
It's my favorite film.
But you say you don't watch it anymore.
Yeah,
you can't watch it anymore.
It hits home too. You know what? I've probably seen this film over. Oh man, I want to say over 40 times for sure. So it's far and away the movie I've seen the most.
And you agreed to watch it with me in December.
Yeah, I haven't watched this movie in probably, I want to say 10 years.
Well, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
And what's turning out to be a very, very special Whiskey Business podcast.
You know what? I don't think I could watch it again unless it was like this. Where we're talking about it, experiencing it sort of from a remove, and obviously with plenty of
libations.
Yeah.
Oh well, that's I guess part of it,
but it's just awesome seeing it with you, because we talked about this earlier in part 1 about being from Steubenville and how very similar that that origin is to us as it is to George,
right,
being from Bedford Falls and getting out of Steubenville. Not everybody gets out. Somehow, it still remains a great little town,
Yeah.
And
there's people that live in Steubenville that never left Steubenville that have wonderful lives.
And some of the people who did make it out, like us, are the better for having come from there.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah. So.
Without a doubt, that was a great place to experience what I call my formative years, as far as life and some of the experiences. So, without further ado. Here we go. It's a wonderful podcast.
And I'll give you a countdown on the wipe. Here we go.
Part 2.
Play. Damn it.
Part 2.
All right. Come on.
320
2,
Sycamore. Well, what?
1.
Whose home's that? The Waldorf Hotel.
Oh my God, how great would it be to talk on
And here's
the
the
phone?
wipe.
I have a rotary dial telephone over there on the bar.
Yeah,
does
rotary
work.
dial, but not the one where you pick the earpiece up.
No, because
Bring those back.
Have you ever talked on one of those?
on one of those.
Yeah, the holding the ear to.
But that rotary dial telephone that's at the bar, it's from my grandmother's house
Oh wow.
in Steubenville, Ohio, and it still has the Steubenville phone number on it, 282-0598.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was your grandmother's phone
That
number.
was my
Do you remember what your phone number was in Steubenville growing up?
282-0598.
That was it.
That was it.
Okay.
I lived with my grandmother, so
Cool.
that was it. For the years she had.
If you ever want to call me in the past,
to get on that phone.
yeah, my number was 264-7610.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
She had a party line for a while.
Oh really?
Yeah, they had party lines
bridal
back
suite.
then.
Oh, yeah.
They had party lines back then where where you picked up the phone, you couldn't use it because you were sharing the line.
You know,
And my
actually-
grandmother would actually,
this.
put her hand over the receiver part of it and just listen.
Watch
People were talking about.
watch this.
That's great.
That is awesome.
Isn't
That's
that
It's
great?
a
water.
great
You
song.
can't plan that.
You can't plan
You
that.
can't plan it. Happy accidents.
All right, so I get it. She bought the house they threw the rocks in.
Yes.
Got
Right.
it.
Now do you see where my theory is coming true?
Theory, no, what?
It's all her
That-
fault.
She keeps pulling his ass in.
Right? This is the house she made the wish in.
And Jimmy's looking at the house.
See, most people look at it this way. Most people look at it, oh, how sweet. She bought the house that they broke the windows in.
Nope.
I look at it as,
Fucking dream crusher.
Is she
Yeah.
wearing hydrangea flower?
Oh, look at you, Johnny.
Is she wearing a hydrangea
No,
flower?
let's cut back to her. Let's see. Where's Mary? Show me
And who's that?
hydrangeas.
Is that Bert or Ernie?
I don't know. I'm just
yeah,
I'm taking a
Ernie
guess.
was the guy that had the top hat in the
He
doorway.
was the cab driver.
He's the weird dude. There.
And I don't
No.
think they were gay at all. I'm not sure. I don't think they were gay.
No, there's
No,
nothing.
no,
there's
no, they
there's
both-
nothing
No,
on
because there's that thing.
Nor can we, like, Bert and Ernie aren't gay.
Right, but I'm just saying.
And
there's
it
a-
doesn't matter if they
first.
were, by the way.
Yeah, that. Now come on.
That's real.
that whole thing with the.
This is a little bit of a.
Rotisserie.
That's
This is like
that's a little
tongue-in-cheek.
Hollywood magic right
Yeah,
there.
little
Yeah.
Hollywood magic.
With
But
the, with the
Little Spielberg.
rotisserie
Listen,
chicken.
watch.
Look at that.
Welcome home, Mr. Bailey. That is one of the great close-ups.
That's a nice plus one soft filter. On
Yeah, well, say, what do you call that filter? That's nice.
It's called
Pro-Mist.
Vaseline.
It's today it's a Pro Mist +1 or +2.
Yeah.
White Pro Mist.
Oh my God! Isn't that the dream to be loved like that? Or do you feel like you have been loved like that?
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
And I think you have to.
In moments, yeah.
Hey, brother.
That's all we got. right?
Moments.
That's it.
Moments can be lifetimes
Mm-hmm.
if you appreciate them properly.
Yeah.
Remember the night we broke the windows in this old house?
I wanted to screw you.
This is what
your
I
life.
wished for.
This is what I wished for us to live here, right? So she did wish for us to live.
She did. All right.
right?
You've established that from the get-go. That this is what she wanted.
If this was made in the
But
80s,
her
he would have like
wanting
totally
this-
thrown it to the ground at that moment.
Her wanting this has consequences.
Yeah.
I want to top
This
that.
is the
I
only
actually
moment.
wanted
This is
to
the
top
only
after
moment
this
that you
scene.
have that, like, they kiss each other. Here, he kisses her.
Yeah, on the
on
forehead.
I love this
Come
with the
on.
right,
hat.
and then he hits
And
her
then
I
he
go,
hits her.
you
because
see?
he's homophobic.
They're not gay.
How dare you kiss me? I'm a straight cop. I gotta go shoot somebody.
I love this. I love this.
Don't
moment,
let the
too.
mustache fool you.
That's Mr. Martini.
Right.
Mr. Martini. I got my own house.
He's the drunk from opening scene.
No.
No.
Different
Martini.
guy.
Martini's.
Oh, sorry.
He owns
Martini's the
Martini's
guy
bar.
that owns the bar
He owns
Okay,
the
okay,
bar.
okay.
that
gotcha.
becomes prominent later.
Okay.
And this is
How
why.
come the wife looks like the husband?
Because of this scene. Because of this scene.
Did you hear how racist that was?
Yeah, I heard him. I've tried to ignore it. Because of this scene is why when I go to someone's house for the first time, I never go empty-handed. It's because of this.
Really? That's great.
Because of this scene, I
That's
never go
great.
empty-handed.
I'm waiting for Greg to ask why the goat looks like the wife.
I don't get the goat. Is the goat anything to
Bailey
do with the
Park,
bird and the
everybody.
squirrel? Where's the? I haven't seen the squirrel yet.
Oh, hang tight,
okay.
brother.
All right.
Yeah. When they go and they well, right here.
Yes.
See, she's got
Can you name the three things?
she's got
Bread.
bread,
Blood,
Right.
wine,
So what are the things? Three things. Go ahead, say it.
bread so you don't go
wine,
hungry.
And
then,
Irish table salt.
The salt.
Okay, go ahead. Tell us why.
May never know hunger.
She just said it.
She's just saying it right there.
Life may always have flavor.
And wine that joy and prosperity may reign forever.
He just like
There you go,
snatched
man.
that
There it
liquor
is.
out of her.
Drunk.
Hey, look
There
at
it
that.
is.
Look at that girl.
That's it. And because of that movie, this movie,
Yeah.
I've never gone to someone's house for the first time empty-handed.
Have you ever brought bread or salt?
I brought wine. Wine.
No surprise
I
there.
brought bread.
I'm curious. Have you brought bread?
I brought
And
bread.
Did you ever say?
Bread and wine.
Did
no,
you
I
say
didn't
it-
say the lines.
No.
No.
Don't you want? Why?
I don't know.
You have, haven't you, Johnny? You have said
No,
the
I
line.
have not. But now I want to.
No.
I think you
And I
should.
would. I would do it
You
without.
should.
No, I never really.
I'm gonna
stepped
bring
in.
all three to somebody. Next person I know buys a house. I'm bringing all three: bread, salt, and wine.
Yeah, I brought wine. I brought
I'm
bread
going to
and
Costco.
wine.
I'm going to buy like the
Never
largest
brought
thing of salt you can find. And then
'Cause I'm
it's gonna be like,
afraid-
what am I going to do with this much salt?
Because if I bring salt, someone's gonna say, "Well, what the fuck did you bring salt for?" I'm like,
It's winter. Throw it out on your sidewalk.
Whatever.
Icy.
Oh my God! You do it every time you go to somebody's house, Johnny, and your girlfriend Summer will be
Who's
going
that
like,
guy
"This
right
is really
there?
getting
That-
weird,
the guy
Johnny."
That, the guy that had the maps
Right,
for
I-
Potter.
This is a very familiar guy.
He wasn't he in like Lucille Ball's show?
Yes.
When she was actually on her own without the husband, when she was like a business, when she's working out in the bank.
No, that was her boss. You're thinking of her boss?
No. Did he work? Was he on the Lucille Ball show? I don't know.
Might have been.
Is that old girl again from the beginning?
No.
No.
It's a different girl.
No,
Okay.
no,
You're so
no.
racist
Violet-
against blondes.
All
Violet-
blonde women look the same
Yeah.
to me.
Violet did not.
Greg looks at 1940s blondes. Thinks they're all the same.
Black and white.
Yeah, so it's like racist.
No, that's
I'm
Sam,
married to a
Sam
black
Wainwright,
That is Sam Wainwright.
who
Hee-haw.
winds up being a pretty cool dude.
Oh,
And that-
an
so
awesome
who's that?
dude.
They're
Winds up
pretty-
being an awesome dude.
Yeah,
Whatever.
winds up being an awesome dude. He's kind of a pompous, rich
He's not-
ass.
he really doesn't act like. I think it's just his jealousy, George's jealousy of him. That
Yeah.
Sam doesn't really display any assholish behavior. Actually,
Not really,
No.
not really. No.
He was living
no,
his
what do you
life.
say, not
He
really?
lived his life.
Yeah. What do you say? Not really.
And
What-
look at these two right here.
This is me.
Old beaten
Boom.
down car.
Kick it.
Boom.
The
Kick
old
it.
Ford hitting the Ford.
Problem
And-
solved. Kick something. Punch something.
And this is a great moment.
Because he's like just gave him a cigar, which represents his penis. What?
Yeah,
Potter's
that's
penis.
that's
This is real
burning.
phallic.
His
Yeah.
penis is burning.
Yeah.
Right.
So he probably picked something up from
The chair.
from Violet Bick.
This is funny. But, yeah, Jimmy Stewart's chair is down lower. Potter's is up higher for superiority.
Oh, yeah.
And whatnot. My friends have accused me of having a higher stool behind my bar than the seats are at the bar, so that I could be above them. I've never thought of that before.
That's true. It is.
great.
No, 'cause
But
you're
it
always
is.
standing behind the bar.
Yeah, but I usually stand, but it was never intentional to do that.
Can I tell you something? I just want to pay you a quick compliment. Sure. The only person I've ever heard pronounce the word stool like you just did, stool,
Yeah.
is Dean Martin.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, we're both from the same town.
But
both
most people
share
from
a
that
passion
town
for
don't
stools.
pronounce it
How
that
do they
way.
pronounce it that way?
If you're from Steubenville,
how do you pronounce
okay, here's
how do you
this.
say
Here's some.
stool?
I'm gonna tell you.
Stool.
Here's somebody from Steubenville. I'm gonna go down to Dino's. We're gonna go down to the basement, and I'm gonna sit in a stool. Stool. But you put two syllables in it.
No.
Stool.
Stool.
Like Dean Martin.
Yeah.
Now
Maybe I'm just slurring.
Now, how do I know Dean Martin pronounced stool with two syllables? Because I knew his proctologist.
Look.
He doesn't even like to smoke a cigar.
He didn't like to smoke, but he's listening. He's still Jimmy Stewart at this moment with Potter. Still has a glimmer, a shot, a
Right.
thought.
He's still thinking about it.
Maybe
You're right.
Maybe things can turn.
Yeah, right. He's thinking
Are
about
you
it.
thinking he's like going, if the price is right, I'm fucking out of here?
Maybe, possibly,
And
man.
what's he doing here? What's this meeting about? What are they doing?
Potter's offering him a
Plot-wise.
deal.
Oh, he
Yeah.
knows about
To
the.
what?
He knows about
Potter wants him to
the
come
building
work
loan.
for him.
Potter wants to do away with that building alone.
Yeah.
He wants to
got it.
take over everything. This is the one thing that this guy doesn't have. So he's making a play for it.
Got it.
It's going to be a hostile takeover, but keeping him as a figurehead, and then probably
And he's
firing
offering-
him in a year.
Yeah.
But look
Sorry
at
to
the
interrupt you.
reaction. Look at the silent reaction.
And he's offering him a salary like 3 times what he
Oh,
makes.
tons.
But he's got to
tons of
stick
money
around
back then.
town.
A salary that in those dollars today would be about $350,000 or $400,000 a year.
Right.
He wants to hire me. You want to hire me? He
You wanna
can't even
hire
believe.
me?
He can't believe what he's hearing. He drops his cigar. Watch this.
$20,000
that's
a
like
year.
that's like $300,000
Huge.
back then.
Spit take. I wish there was a spit take in this.
And I
Spit
wish
takes
the,
are awesome.
I wish the cigar would have spit out of his mouth into his face. That would have been awesome.
A lot of fine clothes.
New York, yeah.
Yeah.
Once in a while, Europe. You wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, Europe, where you wanted to go from the
yeah,
get-go.
remember that?
George? See?
You're not talking to somebody else around here, all right? You know, this is me.
Right now, right now, for just a little bit, Jimmy Stewart is drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah, he is.
He's drinking the Kool-Aid.
Wouldn't you?
For sure.
Brains to climb aboard.
President.
Watch this. Another slow realization,
Yeah.
rendered brilliant.
Potter thinks he's got him.
Yeah.
Potter thinks he's got him.
Yeah, but he just realized he's
See,
in the
that's
room
all
with a snake.
Brando shit. What he just did right there,
Yeah.
that shit Brando got credit for, but he just fucking did.
Hand through the hair.
And this little scratch of his nose and the...
He's very subtle, but it really works on a big way, in a big way.
And Potter's
I ought to jump at the chance.
And
Potter's
again,
pissed.
humility. This, pay attention, because you don't see this displayed on screen anymore.
Sure. You go on home and talk about it.
Unless you go see a Rocky
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, that's I'll draw up the papers. All right, sir. Okay, George.
Okay, George. So I got you right where I want you,
Right here.
George.
I think his
Right
hand
there.
is clammy
Yeah, right there, man. That
and
handshake.
cold.
Yeah.
That shake with the devil right there.
That's right.
Right, feels
you
it.
feel the burn.
It's tactile.
You feel it.
You can feel the grease.
Yeah, just
Wait, I don't need 24 hours. I don't have to talk to anybody. I know right now. And the answer's no. Doggone it. You sit around
love
here
these
and
lines.
You spin your little webs and you think the whole world revolves around you and your money. Well, it doesn't, Mr. Potter. In the whole vast configuration
of
I'd say you were
things.
nothing but a
I
scurvy
love
little
these fucking
spider.
dialogue.
The
It's
painting
Yeah,
awesome.
isn't
of
that great, John?
himself.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
And that
Who
goes
could
for
deliver
you,
that
too.
line? In the vast configuration of things, you're nothing but a scurvy little spider. If you had to deliver that line as an actor,
and he keeps a cigar.
yeah,
Of course.
if you had to deliver that line as an actor, right, and make it sound like he did, which sounds natural,
Yeah.
you couldn't do. Who can do that?
But that was one of the things about Jimmy Stewart is that he had a natural ability, he had a natural way about his delivery on things.
Yes.
It,
Right,
it
but
felt
he's-
real, right?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the way he breaks the lines down, and they never sound false.
No,
No.
not
Never.
a false note. Never
They-
a false note.
And he's saying things like, in the vast configuration of things, you're nothing but a scurvy little spider.
Yeah.
Which harkens back to what I was saying about Philadelphia's story. The line he has to Katharine Hepburn about, you've got fires banked
Banging.
down inside you, hearth fires and Holocaust. He does the same thing.
I think it's also a measure of like he trusts the material. I think you have to be able to trust the material to a point to where you're going to believe exactly what you're saying, trust the writer, and deliver it the way you feel you should be delivering this.
Yeah.
All right.
And I
Good
really,
point.
I think he does a really good job at that and keeping it in a natural way. You know,
Yeah.
Good point.
that makes a great actor.
All right,
He
now-
knows when to do exactly what needs to be done. And
By the way, you see that little thing, that little noose hanging behind him?
I know, right?
I do. All right. Now I was going to say, to further your early theory, now she traps him by being pregnant.
Right.
Dream Crusher.
No.
And
I never
you know
noticed
what?
that noose before, man.
He's into his life right now.
The noose is right there in the
like
foreground.
right
It's
away.
If he
awesome.
was
Isn't that
If he was
interesting?
gonna
Isn't that
bail-
interesting that she announces she's pregnant as the noose is hanging behind her?
And splitting them up right
I never
now.
looked at the noose before.
I
Is that a
never saw it.
I
never saw it.
I never saw the news before.
I never
now.
saw it before now either.
Oh
Isn't that
my
amazing?
God.
And it's
Oh
12:35.
my God.
Anyway,
Now that actually gets at a really deeper question about films, right? And meaning and the meaning of films. Now you have to ask yourself, what are the odds that Capra knew that looked like a noose, right? Probably not. Probably wasn't even aware that it was there. But it is, and it informs the meaning of the film.
And
Wait,
look,
so did he take the
Mary's,
job?
Mary's making the house a home.
No, he does not take the job.
no.
But this is like flash
No, he didn't
forward,
take the job.
obviously.
Now we're in World War II.
By the way, that scene
This
with
had to
the
be tough for him.
Yeah, I'm sure.
This had to be this.
Yeah,
whole
now
thing,
he's playing a 4F dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Which he could have been.
Right. He's giving this guy the dignity of a guy, you know, like George Bailey was 4F
Horrible
on
screen
account of his ear.
And of his
Yeah.
ear.
Yeah.
What?
1A. Gotta love him. Such an ass, but I love this character so much.
Gower and Uncle Billy sold war bonds.
Uncle Gower, he's dry as hell right now.
North Africa got the Silver Star.
Yep.
Ernie, the
Look at that
taxi
footage.
driver, parachuted into
Now, by the
France.
way, it also should be said that the great directors of the era Frank Capra,
Green
John
screen. What would you
Ford,
call it back then?
Ford.
and John Huston
Yeah.
all went to war
Yes.
as filmmakers.
All
and
battlefield
documented.
cameramen and documentarians.
Yeah, and, it's called Why We Are or Why.
That's a great documentary.
What is it called?
The Five Came Back, I think it's called that.
Yeah, the documentary is Five Came Back, but it was a part of the actual films they made were.
Oh,
it
Why
was
We Fight.
Why We Fight.
Why We
Yeah,
Fight.
Thanks, John. So imagine that. Imagine right now Spielberg, Wes Anderson, and Martin Scorsese pack up all their gear and go to Afghanistan to like document. No, it doesn't happen.
Not happening.
They
Although
don't
Wes
do it.
Anderson's films would have been perfectly framed, I think.
Yes, of
Yeah,
course.
they would've been
It'd be
nice.
great. You'd have a terrorist here and a terrorist exactly
Over
here.
there.
And
Dear
the
Mr.
explosion
Terrorist.
In the middle.
Now show him what happened today.
And nice shots so you have all their like backpack materials.
This is it. This is the day before. This is where all of Georgia's shit comes to a.
This is why this is a Christmas movie?
You don't think this is a Christmas movie?
Not yet, it ain't.
It
Oh,
wasn't.
that's so great.
It was never meant
That's
to
so
be a
great
Christmas
that he
movie.
doesn't see it as a
You don't
Christmas
see it as a
movie yet.
Christmas movie yet.
No.
Why should he?
Because
No.
this is like fucking Die Hard of black
You're
and white
right.
films.
You're fucking right. He's right.
It's
so
not a Christmas
far.
Well,
movie.
in his defense, when I saw it for the first time, it was part of the summer movie series at the Ohio Theater.
It was never released during the wintertime. Though.
And
It
it
was
was
never
not-
meant to be
no,
a
it was
Christmas
released
movie.
It
in
came out
June.
Christmas. It came out during Christmas.
No, it
season.
did not. It did not come out.
I defy both of you.
I think it came.
Openly
look
defy
up
both
the
of you.
release of
I'm
It's
looking it
Wonderful
up.
Life.
Release date.
I think it came out in June.
I don't think so.
I
By
think it
the way,
did.
everything shot was in July, and all the snow is fake, and it's like 90 degrees
Well,
out.
yeah, they're shooting.
I think the movie came out in the summer.
But anyway, it's really interesting because
Just checking
Christmas
that.
hasn't really even reared its head yet.
No, it hasn't.
So he's right in a way.
In a way, he is right. God damn it, he's right. Damn it, Hansberry, you're
It
right.
says Christmas Day, December 25th.
Really?
It came out. That was a release.
1946.
Yeah.
I mean, according to just early Google
According to
analysis.
me and,
yeah.
and the source that you're.
All right.
Yeah, Google.
So you're right, Johnny. We'll go with
I'm
that.
But technically, Wikipedia says December 20th.
There you go.
So it's not really a Christmas movie.
It is a Christmas
I
movie.
know.
It's the Christmas movie.
So what's interesting though is at that time we still have the same formula where the big Oscar contenders come out at the end of the year.
True.
And that's what they were doing with Best Years of the. Check out just for curiosity's sake the release date of Best Years of Our Lives.
Which beat it.
The same week, actually, of this came out.
Okay, so it was the same week. All right.
Good year.
I'll trust you.
I just read it today on IMDb.
Very funny.
Yeah, or broke.
We're broke.
Come right in here, Mr. Carter.
Although I shouldn't wonder when you okay reverse charges on personal long-distance calls.
George, shall we hang up?
What a dick.
What an asshole.
Now, if you'll
Jesus
cooperate, I'd like
Christ.
to finish with you by tonight. I want to spend
See here?
Christmas in Elmira with my family.
Elmira.
And Elmira with
And
my
Elmira.
family.
I'll never go to Elmira just because of that
Who
guy.
the fuck's Elmira?
Oh, here
Now,
we go. Fucking
let me tell you
Potter.
something. Let me tell you something. So, what happens here? He has $8,000, right? He's
Yeah.
got to deposit $8,000. What he does is in his vitriol. It's not even vitriol, really, but in his disdain for Potter, he accidentally, Greg, folds the $8,000 up into the newspaper.
Yeah.
And that's how the money is lost. That's how they can't account for it. Now,
He's
one
gloating.
might
He's
say-
gloating at the time. Yeah.
one might say that that's not very realistic. And yet, I've done shit like that. I remember my mom gave me $20 when I was a kid, and a teenager in high school. Gave me $20 to go buy like a loaf of bread and some like capicola
I see
or
it.
something.
He did it. Boom.
Right there, it's gone. Right.
And then he's got the finger thing
I
tied
went to,
up
I
right
got
there.
the bread and the capicola and went to pay for it, and I didn't have the $20. I was like, what the fuck? What did I do with the $20? I had it.
You had it.
No, I had it. You know where it was? It was under a loaf of bread. In the bread aisle, like I did the same thing. Like I was looking up, I had the somehow I had the 20 in my hand.
Yeah.
Grabbed the bread, put one loaf down, money under it, and grabbed another loaf, and then didn't have that. So that's totally
That could happen.
yes.
At least it wasn't
absolutely.
under the
That can happen.
capicola.
And this is
Right.
what this
Which would have
this-
made the money
greasy
greasy.
20.
And this
Yeah.
particular scene shows the true
Nature of fucking Potter.
assholeness of Potter.
Wait, does he see the money?
Oh, yeah, he
Yes.
sees
Just
the
open it
money.
up.
He sees the money. He sees this as the beginning of the end for George Bailey.
He's about to take that money and go get hookers.
Or that blonde from the beginning? at
No,
least.
not the blonde from the beginning.
Oh my God! And if you're ever like frazzled or
Oh my God,
anxiety riddled,
$8,000?
like Uncle Billy, you know what that feels like. It's
Mm-hmm.
you,
You cannot find your car keys.
And
This happens to me every time I do
and
this
I feel
podcast here.
I feel it's coming up in just a little bit, but God damn it, I feel so bad for Uncle Billy.
yeah, no.
I can't help
When because like
Oh, boy.
George just keeps going and going and going. Like what else? What else? Now this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
Yep.
Maybe the
Right.
bird will help you find the $8,000. That's why we have
Isn't
her.
it great though? Isn't the bird great? It's this texture.
It's weird.
That's not
It's
explained.
weird.
It would suck.
And it's not explained.
It would suck if they explained it.
Oh, Johnny.
why do you?
yeah.
Uncle Billy has.
Yes, yeah.
But Uncle Billy's always with his raven. You know, like no, that would suck. It's
That's
awesome
good.
that
Look,
it's not
look when
there.
he's helping out Vi.
And the optics of this scene is incredible. It comes back later on, right? But the optics of this does not look good for George Bailey. Giving money to the town floozy.
What do you want to do? Huh?
Lack of a better word.
Not a hat? Want to walk to New York?
She didn't
She's
pay for that
great,
hat.
man.
She is
She's
great.
awesome.
Doing Bedford Fall.
She's lived the life.
My business
She's
is
great.
building and loan. Besides,
Do you know women like Vi?
Good luck to you.
I'm glad.
Have you known women like Violet?
Yeah.
Women who really had it going on
Yeah.
and probably could have chartered their own course,
Lipstick.
and yet
Yeah, sure. I will.
are in that situation in life.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, see, that's...
Yeah, I can't think of them right now.
No,
but
no,
I'm
no,
sure.
right?
Yeah,
But you know what I'm talking
for
about.
sure. Yeah. But you know what? I gotta say, this
Deep
too.
in their hearts, probably good women who did not make the right decisions.
Yeah. But
What's going on?
there's something about Violet's humanity that comes through in a way that I don't know that I've seen
What's the matter with you?
in real life, like about the women you're talking about. I'm guessing, like
You've
you
only
said,
seen them on
I
the
can't
other side.
identify right now, but there's something human about Violet Bick. You know, I don't think of her as a whore.
No, I don't either. I think of her as a woman who just made bad choices.
Yeah.
Do you think it's because she doesn't have many options or because she just in a small town?
Violet?
Yeah.
I think she's hampered by the provinciality of it.
No,
She's
I think she had some of the same dreams that George Bailey had.
Bingo.
That's
That's,
what
I
I
was
mean.
thinking.
That's what I'm saying. She does
She was going to get out and travel.
right. She was
going
gonna
to
do all this stuff, but her version of it is
Hitching
You
her
know,
caboose
like-
on something.
right. Yeah,
Yeah,
her version of it
Possibly,
is
yeah.
being
Well, not possibly,
using
probably.
her beauty and her allure to pave the way.
Right.
Yeah. Which in her
This.
Listen.
This.
By the way, this is Greg. You gotta watch this because this is where George's being a dick.
Do you have any secret hiding place here in the house?
Watch this.
Someplace you hide the money.
Over the whole house, even in rooms that have been locked since that long.
he's at the end of his rope, isn't he?
Listen to me. Think.
I can't think anymore, George. I can't think anymore. It hurts.
Where's that money, you silly, stupid old fool? Where's that money?
Man.
You realize what this means? It means bankruptcy and scandal and prison. That's what it means. One of us is going to jail.
I'm
Well,
telling
it's
you
not
what,
gonna be
man.
me.
Jimmy Stewart knew how to spit fire.
Fucking A right.
Yeah, man.
And Greg,
Yeah.
here's your squirrel.
And the-
I give you
There's an owl.
the squirrel.
there it is.
Oh.
The squirrel.
I forgot about the squirrel.
Perfect.
And how
Oh,
beautiful,
man.
right?
Oh my God, this is my
just-
favorite scene
Oh my gosh.
ever.
This is
T-
it.
the fact that, and I applaud Capra and the screenwriters for showing this desperate side of George, because you're right, he's a dick. He's
Yeah.
a dick to Uncle Billy.
Yeah.
He's a huge dick to the family right
Oh, right now, yeah. Haven't
We
you
all
been
can
that
do
way?
that
Yes.
way. Yes, dude.
Oh
I
my
hate
God,
my
are you
kids
serious?
sometimes.
I'm telling you what, I've lived this. I have been this asshole. I have heard the words of my children. Like, I know what this is. Let me tell you real quick. I crossed my fingers like Uncle Billy to tell you something, and then I'm trying to remember what it was. Actually,
Can I interrupt though while you're thinking about this?
yeah.
I think the reason why that he's acting like this is because everybody's been in a situation where you go to animal. You're an animal because when your animal's backed into a corner,
Oh, wait.
and they
That's
know
it.
nothing
Yes.
about how they're gonna react to things. How are they gonna figure out something? They start lashing at the people
This-
they love.
Like
that's
a rabid
it.
squirrel.
This is it. This is the greatest moment of screen acting for me ever.
This is an iconic
Right?
scene. I've seen this.
So-
Where he's
I showed
just-
this in film
So
school.
Tommy-
actually, it's
yeah.
my favorite scene of all time.
Tommy, this kid is doing real shit. He's not acting.
Yeah.
No.
He doesn't
being a
know that
kid.
the Santa Claus mask is Santa Claus. He just knows it's a mask, and he's trying to scare Jimmy Stewart. He's like, arr, arr. Jimmy Stewart snatches him up, knowing that he's going to go to jail. As a father, you know this,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
As a father, you know this feeling. He snatches him in his arms and kisses him violently on the face because he knows he's not going to see this boy. He's going to lose his child. Now, what's brilliant about that moment of acting is Jimmy Stewart would not become a father for another 10 years. And yet, he's tapped in
He knows enough.
to exactly what... I've watched
Did not
that
know
scene
that.
a million times, and I've got, oh my God, that
You
guy
do the
gets
same
it.
thing.
Even when I was a 16-year-old who didn't know what it was about.
So, do you think that he, as an actor, dug into some memories of moments of what he would have said to some of his crewmates who have lost their lives on this B-17
You know,
in
that's
World
a
War
great
II?
question, John.
That's a
That's a
great
great question.
How do you
I
tap
have
into
this
that
idea.
emotion?
I
right?
have this outsized idea of Jimmy Stewart as such an amazing human being and a talent and an artist that, in my mind, Jimmy Stewart actually just knows it deep in his soul. He just knows it. So, I don't know how. You know, this guy's like a monumental artist in my mind. So, like, I feel like he just knows it.
He's a craftsman. That's all there is to
Yes.
it.
This,
So I don't know that it came from World War. Maybe it did. That's a great. I never thought of that.
Some actors have to tap into
Loss.
emotion that
It's
they've
about
experienced.
loss.
It's about loss.
So many people. This is what.
picks up that when he picks up that
Yeah,
right
right.
there at the
And look at that
stairwell,
glare in
just
his eyes,
like,
right?
God,
That
like
was
I
in the
want to
last
throw
scene,
it.
too.
that
When I put it back.
represents that.
And
his,
this is why
yeah, it represents
this
a lot
movie
of
is
stuff.
so important because
Wood glue.
if you moved through your life day to day, knowing what loss is, and knowing what it feels like to lose, and every step you took was an acknowledgement of that. It was an acknowledgement of pain and compassion. You'd be a better human being.
Oh yeah.
And look at this. He breaks away for just a second to fix the pedals, and
Yeah, Zuzu's
you know,
pedals.
in the midst of everything that's wrong.
It's so hard
Right?
to do.
And that's where I've failed as a father. That's where I've failed.
Oh, 100%.
admittedly, as a father.
to
I've,
fix.
I've suffered pains and rejections and shit, and then couldn't do. I
You
couldn't
can't
do this.
separate
If
your
you just-
what's going
to
on
be able
here
to
with
separate everything
the
that's going
kids.
on, and to be that right there. She's got a fever.
Yeah.
So
It's difficult to mask loss.
this is
to
what
a
I mean
child.
about this is the value of movies.
She's
This is
still
why
hot,
we
by the
watch.
way.
This is why we watch movies, right? If you can't watch a movie and glean somehow out of it,
Yeah.
how to become a better man, a better human being, a better father, a better person, then what's the fucking point? Don't watch anything. Then.
Yeah.
Don't fucking watch anything.
How he shifts though from when he was kissing his kid
To this.
to being angry with Mary in the kitchen, to back upstairs to being compassionate to with Zuzu's pedals, and now back to like, you know, quit fucking with my wife
Right.
and letting his anger go through that.
We're all human. We're all animals. We lash out.
But
to
the
people.
fact that he just doesn't stay pissed
Yeah.
through the whole goddamn thing.
Yeah.
The fact that he
No,
has
the
those,
vacillations between.
the moments that go in between, and
yeah.
just
Okay, fine, Mr. Wells. Give me
Yeah.
a chance to tell you what I really think of your wife. Will you get out and let me handle this?
I've said that to people.
Yeah, I'll tell
Look at
you.
him. Look at him. By the way, you should watch some Jimmy Stewart westerns if you want to see some of these
Badass.
the Naked Spur.
yeah,
Oh,
great
yeah.
movie,
Fucking
great
awesome.
movie.
Yeah.
And no one was doing that. No one was bringing psychological vulnerability to the Western hero like Jimmy Stewart was doing in those Anthony Mann Westerns.
But see,
Naked
now
Spur.
he's blowing up. He can't.
This
Here
is
we
my
go.
favorite. This is it right here.
The last straw has.
This is it right
Right
here.
here, boom.
He's taking down his dreams.
That's it.
His dreams are crushed, and he's doing that visually and physically.
And emotionally.
Look
Yeah.
at these kids.
And his wife
You haven't
is,
done that? Have you done that? You know that feeling of shame?
Yeah. That's total shame.
That you've caved to your anger and your violence.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean that.
And now you're a fucking freak because of it.
Yeah.
Then,
Yeah.
then it adds to
They're
the,
all like,
uh,
and the thing is, this is the first time any of them have ever seen. His kids have never seen this
Right.
part of him.
And that has got
Never.
to be so hard for a husband and a father
Nothing, Daddy.
to see that.
And that kid, oh God, I'm sorry. This is why I don't want to watch this movie.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry,
Dude,
I'm
this
not
is like
sorry.
this is one of the greatest films of all time. Period. So this is like number 1 or 2 on my list every year. So
play the fucking song.
And then even Mary,
George,
Play
why
the
must you
song.
torture the
Alexa.
children? Why don't you...
yeah, even Mary snaps for a little bit. All of them.
she's like, because the kids have
Says-
never seen him like
No,
this
it's like
ever.
that is the worst feeling in the world to feel that they've seen you at your bottom. You never,
Oh, yeah.
as a father and a husband, you never want your children or your wife to see you at the very, very bottom. It is that raw nerve exposed that you hope nobody ever
Uncle Billy?
sees, and he just showed it
I'm
to
in
him.
trouble.
Uh-oh, and now he's on his knees.
Yeah, he's even lower actually in the before the last scene.
Bank examiner got there today.
I like the way that
$8,000 immediately.
Oh, that's what the reporters wanted to talk to you about.
The reporters.
Yes, they called me up from.
And he
your
knows the whole
building
time because he
alone.
took or found
yeah.
the money. And,
Oh, sure.
And
Yeah.
he
If
could
Potter
be like,
gives him the
oh,
$8 grand, this movie's over.
This
Happy
$8 grand
ending.
right here.
so
It's done.
here's some of the kind of funny in the background in this 2 shot.
How great is that?
Is Napoleon the Conqueror, right?
Is that right? Look at the ice on his shoulders.
Yeah.
No, sir, there's nothing wrong with the books.
Yeah.
I've just misplaced $8,000. I can't find it anywhere.
You did.
You misplaced
Because
it.
he's the captain of the ship.
Selflessness.
He's the captain of the ship.
Right? Selflessness.
Right.
In the moment, in the moment you're tested, you're on your knees, as you say, Greg.
And you still don't throw somebody else under the bus.
Right. You take it.
Well, he's the captain.
And last time it was a picture of Mr. Potter. There was a painting of himself above his head.
Yeah. Now it's Napoleon.
Not that it makes any difference.
Grandma's back.
And he's got a fancy phone. Well, you could just use with one hand.
Yeah.
I can't get a hold of these in Europe.
One-handed
They
phones.
don't have
That'll
that kind
catch
of money,
on.
Mr. Potter. You know that. You're the only one in town that can help me.
I've suddenly become quite.
I just love the last 25, 30 minutes of this film because he's so desperate. And he's
Now,
such a great actor, and he
given our-
really pulls it off.
Given our De Niro, Jimmy Stewart
Yeah.
conversation, what I wouldn't give right now for George Bailey to turn into Jake LaMotta and pound the fuck out of Potter's face until it's a bloody pulp.
That's right.
Here it is. This is huge.
Look at you. You used to be so cocky. You were going to go out and conquer the world. You once called me a warped, frustrated
Old man. Yeah.
Well, you were
remembered
a
it.
warped, frustrated young man. Miserable little clerk.
True.
crawling here on your hands and knees.
He is so brilliant in this
No
part, by the way.
securities, no stocks, no bonds, nothing but
awesome.
a miserable
There it is.
little $500 equity in a life insurance policy. You're worth more dead than alive.
Boom.
You go to the riffraff you love so much and ask them to let you have 8,000.
We're finally going to meet
You know
Clarence,
why?
guys.
Because they run you out of town on a rail. But I tell you what I'm going to do for you, George. Since the state examiner is still here, as a stockholder of the building and loan, I'm going to swear out a warrant for your arrest. Misappropriation of funds, manipulation,
Dick.
malfeasance.
He's like, I'm outie.
I don't hear anything anymore.
Go ahead.
He heard what he had to hear.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Worth more dead than alive.
that's it.
That's it. He stopped listening after that.
Potter.
That's why I don't take out a life insurance plan.
Yeah. I don't trust my wife either.
Bitch.
So before it happens, I want to point something out. I don't know if you guys know or have heard this. At Martini's, he says this prayer, right?
Yes.
And what I heard, this right here, not this particular shot, but when he starts saying the prayer, that Capra actually blew the shot up frame by frame to create the, because it was so intense.
Yeah, it's called optical blow up.
Okay, is that right?
It's
So
called an
that's
optical
true.
blow-up. Yes,
it
it's
wasn't
true.
a zoom. He blew it up frame by frame.
Because it was a medium wide shot, and Capra in editing was like going, I need a close up.
This right here.
They did not get the close up. Not here. It was a reverse of this.
Look at all the Brando shit happening right here.
Right
Look at
there,
all the
right
method
there,
shit
right
happening.
Yeah, it's awesome.
No one in that period of time was doing what he was doing.
He hasn't even barely said a word.
Show me the way.
End of my rope, right? Show me the way. Oh, God.
I would say I see this as he's the greatest fucking
Yeah.
the greatest. He's the greatest. Why we even have this conversation is stupid.
Okay. Have you?
Why you drink so
I'm just saying he's in the top 4.
Please go.
Okay, who else do you get? Who else
no,
do
no.
you
Let me.
prefer?
Before you guys start debating that. That
Oh,
moment,
shit. He's
Show
about to
me
get
the
his ass
way.
kicked.
Show me the way.
Right.
In your adult lives, have you had that moment?
Are you fucking kidding?
Have you been there?
Of course.
Of course, yes. Johnny, have you been there yet? Have you had a show me the way moment in your life?
Oh, yeah, sure. I've been, like, laid off from jobs and, like,
To the
not-
point where you were that desperate, where you were that.
where I was,
were you
like, going, how am I going to pay for my
No, were
fucking
you actually?
rent?
No, dude, were you actually prayed?
Oh, prayed? I'm not a religious man.
I'm not either, and I've fucking prayed. That's how low I've been.
I've been there.
I've sat there and, like, going, if there is a God, I'm
I've
going to
been
hedge
there.
my bets here.
I've prayed. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you the, honest
The alternative
gosh,
fucking
I'll tell you the
blows.
truth. I've prayed to both sides.
Just in case.
Really?
And I've prayed to whatever fucking side will help.
Whatever side's gonna rise up.
I don't
and
fucking
help
care.
you. Interesting.
I've prayed to both. Because I've given up on one.
And well, I'm gonna hope that you gave up on the right one.
See, if this was De Niro right now, he'd be punching the tree over and over again.
Yeah.
The fuck is the matter with you? What the fuck is the matter with you?
My great-grandfather planted
A
this
lot more
tree.
guns. A lot more guns.
Your
would be-
great grandfather. I'll fuck your great grandfather.
Come back
He
here,
makes me
Johnny
2 other
Boy.
trees.
Get this car out of here.
Yeah, if that was De Niro, that
Hey, I
guy
got
wouldn't have
this
finished
umbrella.
his lines.
Hell no, he would not.
He would not have finished his line. Wah, wah.
Great. See, that's perfect. The movement that happens, the poetry of human movement that is captured in this movie.
All right, man. Jimmy
This
is
is it.
starting to go above De Niro right now as I'm
Right
sitting
there.
here with you, John.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Is
and
it
this moment-
starting to?
He's the king of subtlety. This is like his performance is so subtle.
No, I know it's De Niro doesn't compare to this.
It's difficult.
Okay, we know that.
I'm gonna blow your fucking minds right now. I'm gonna say this: Daniel Day-Lewis couldn't fucking suck this guy's dick. Daniel Day-Lewis couldn't do what Jimmy Stewart is doing in this movie.
But Daniel Day-Lewis would suck his dick, but you would believe that he was enjoying it.
True.
Yeah, because
Daniel
he's
Day-
that good.
No, but Daniel Day-Lewis couldn't touch the humanity displayed here.
You know what? I haven't watched this movie in a long time either, and this is one of his great performances, without a doubt.
That's it, man, right there.
Cue the harp.
Selflessness.
Because
Cue
George
selflessness.
was George going to jump? If no Clarence, would George have jumped?
Yes. Absolutely.
He would have jumped for different reasons,
Or
right?
for the right reasons, because he's worth more dead than alive.
But because ultimately it would have had some good. His death would have done some good.
Some good.
Yeah, but
right?
think
Like,
about
even if it's infinitesimal, like it would have done some
just-
good,
you
and
know what?
therefore he would have
$500.
jumped.
I'm not.
Craig,
I don't think he would have.
what do you think?
Would have
For
done
the
it.
record, for the podcast record, he's used like
I didn't have time to get
4 or
some
5
stylish
really big
underwear.
words.
Wife
Yeah,
gave
Yeah,
he's
I'm gonna
good.
have to make sure he's using.
I was
them
an
right.
English major.
He's good.
Double
passed
check.
away, and
He reads dictionaries.
Infinitesimal?
It's awesome.
Infinitesimal,
infinitesimal.
macrocosmic. Okay, wait, I don't stop. You know what? You put a carrot out in front of people, they'll go maybe to a dictionary. and look.
he
Yeah,
would have died
maybe.
because you nailed it on the head. It was because if he jumped, it was gonna do some good for.
A little bit, right?
I don't
It was
know.
his last.
Yeah, but
last
I
kill.
don't
In
think
his
I would
mind-
jump.
In his mind, it does some good.
Some.
Can I
And
argue
so-
a different way?
Yeah, let's.
I
hear
don't
it.
think he would have jumped.
Okay, why?
But-
then he's a piece of shit.
Because
I don't think he would have jumped
I
either.
don't think he would have jumped because that would have been more disastrous to his
Thank
family.
you. Thank you, John.
Because
Yes.
Clarence fell into the water,
But he's a man.
that's why I jumped.
right? But because Clarence jumped in the water, he had that moment of "I'm going to save you." He saved the town when he gave up his money from
Right.
from the hol- from.
Right.
His,
But that's what Dino's question is: if Clarence isn't there, what
Would he have
what
jumped?
is
I don't think he would have jumped.
why? Why do you say that?
I don't think he would have jumped because, once again, I think.
And how does he come to the realization?
Because the jump would have been the easy out, and George, throughout this entire film, never takes the easy out.
so then this movie is stupid.
No, it's not stupid. It's not stupid.
Why are we watching this?
It's not.
I'm out of here.
So then, what the fuck is the point?
What
Can I ask a
the
question?
point is? The point is, you know, the movie
Or-
doesn't make us think about that decision because Clarence jumps in the water,
Okay, right.
and then George does the right
So
thing.
then, I guess this is why I would say what you just said is brilliant. Is that maybe Clarence is just that decision,
And who the fuck is
and
Clarence?
we
He's
see
he's
this
the little
played out.
star
in
you
sl-
saw at the
we
beginning
see
of
the
the movie.
decision played out in slow motion,
maybe.
right? Like writ large with like Clarence.
I
But
get it.
you know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying.
Okay, so that's awesome. I've never thought of that before.
Okay.
So Clarence is an angel.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why you heard the harp and the
Yes.
star at the beginning. Is what
Exactly.
You're saying.
Yeah, yeah.
You're gonna
that's
hear.
Clarence.
You're gonna hear.
It's amazing you're getting anything out of this.
You're gonna.
Anything at all.
I'm just like trying to string along the plot as well.
I'm so impressed with you.
This is the little guy in the beginning.
I got you.
This was the
graphics.
globule. This was the
This is the guy that's trying to get his wings.
Right.
Hansberry.
His,
Oh, okay,
his
yeah.
theme
And-
song is "Twinkle Twinkle Little Star," and you'll hear it 4 more times.
And that is that. I believe that song is fair use.
Yeah, I believe it is.
Fair use.
So we can play that part.
If not, ABC is.
Oh, I've got to earn them. And you'll
I
help
gotta
me.
earn them. All right, yo. He's like, you're my guy.
letting me
I'm gonna
help
earn my wings on you.
One way you can
Yeah.
help me. You don't happen to have $8,000 on you, do
Oh,
you?
no, we don't use money in heaven.
This is great. The transformation of the Jimmy Stewart character into
Comes in pretty
the
handy
cynic,
down here,
Yeah.
Bub.
right?
Oh,
The idealist, now cynic.
And the cynic and the fact that
I'm worth more dead than alive.
Now look, you mustn't talk like
But
the
his
fact
humanity
that the
comes
fact
through.
that you're buying into it though too, man. The fact that you're accepting it, because this is kind of absurd.
Yeah, if it hadn't been
Well,
for me,
obviously.
everybody'd be a lot better off. My wife
Obviously,
and my
this is
kids
absurd.
and
It's
my
absurd at the moment, but
But
yet
it's
I'm,
sincerity. You can't buy absurdity when it's sold to you with
Oh,
sincerity.
absolutely,
Right.
yes, and
Right.
it is. It's absurd, but I'm like, I'm in every step of the way.
Absolutely.
This isn't going to be so easy.
And Clarence's performance. What's this guy's name again? It's so
I know, I
ridiculous
can't-
that I
I-
haven't
it
watched
did.
this for so long. I want to say it's
Oh, I don't know. I guess you're right.
Henry Travers.
Better if I didn't.
Henry Travers.
Henry Travers?
Yeah, you
oh,
nailed it,
I'm
Henry
awesome.
Travers.
You are awesome.
Like
I wish
him.
I'd never
That's
been
pretty
You're
born.
amazing.
awesome. You're brilliant, and you use lots of big words.
I use four big words.
4 or 5. I'll have to go back and
Yeah,
count.
you count them.
All right, this is great.
Also in The Invisible Man,
Yeah, that'll do
1933.
it. All right.
Thank you, Hansberry. All right, George.
You've got your wish. You've never been bored.
Wow.
Uh-oh.
Which brings up.
And so much humor. in this,
Sledding
too.
on snow shovels again.
Oh,
What'd you say?
You've never been born. You don't exist.
you've never been
You
born.
haven't a care in the world. No worries, no obligations.
And
no
now he can
Oh, he
hear.
can hear it. Look at it.
Yes,
That's
yes.
awesome.
Greg is
Right,
awesome.
Yeah.
Not here.
Greg is a good movie watcher.
He's
Thanks,
a good one.
buddy.
He pays
Thanks.
attention.
The fact that he's paying attention and picking up on some of the
Can we do
subtle
this
layers.
again with other movies?
Yeah, we can.
We should just
Well,
do a whole a side project of podcasts like this.
Well, you know what?
Spin off.
You will be back
Commentaries.
in 2019 because I've received some requests to talk about westerns on Whiskey Business.
All right.
And you're the first person that popped into my
Fucking
brain.
do it.
Jimmy
So-
Stewart Western.
Yeah,
Jimmy
so
Stewart Western
How
or
about you, Wayne?
just westerns,
Outlaw Josie Wales. let's do
westerns
that.
in general, but westerns
Okay.
and whiskey. So you
Man.
got you'll be back in.
Listen, I won't forget that one.
back in 2019.
Get your clothes on. We'll stroll up to my
You might even watch it before this podcast.
I'm sorry. I'll stroll
Okay,
up to my-
okay. I know this could be a potentially long conversation, and I don't mean for it to be.
Yeah.
But have you had that thought cross your mind? How life would be if you could have never been born? How life would have been different? Do you ever think how, if your birth never happened, how it might have affected
Yes.
life as you know it today. You have
Yeah.
children.
About two other trees.
We all have children.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man.
For
I could go
starters.
super dark with you if you wanted, but
I don't. You can go as dark
no,
or
I'm
as
just telling you that.
light
Yes,
as you want.
yes. I'll tell you when you. I'm gonna tell you something. I've been as low as George,
So have I.
and I will tell you that in those moments when you're like, you know what?
I mean Pottersville. Don't think I know where I live?
Whatever you fill in that blank. The bottom line is, in those horrifying moments, you don't think about your children very much, or not as much as you think. You don't think, oh, gee.
Then maybe I have not been as deep and as dark as you.
Okay.
Because while I feel I've had George Bailey moments,
Yeah.
and have been as low as George Bailey, that's one of the first things that pops into my head. Is my daughter and,
Okay.
and my children
Right.
and,
what
my family in
and
general.
here's the thought process. Here's what I do. I go, oh, you know what? I'm a piece of shit. I should just be dead. That will destroy my children. But they're stronger than me, so they'll actually.
Is that your out? Is that your rationalization? My children are stronger than me. You don't know that.
No, I look at them and I'm like, these kids
You
are
don't know
more
that for
resilient
sure.
than me.
You don't know
They're
that.
smarter
You know
than
what?
me already.
You don't know that
They're
for
smarter
sure.
than me already.
You don't know
They're
that for
better
sure.
than me already.
No, that's a rationalization.
I don't know. Well, whatever. I'm just telling you the thought process, and I go, okay. And then the reason that I never actually follow through with it is just because I'm too scared. It has nothing to do with my kids.
All right, well, stay scared.
But the thing is, you
Stay scared.
thinking about offing yourself is never a rational thought, even in your mind. So
What?
it's not rational to even think
Isn't
that.
it? Isn't it? I don't know. Why isn't it? I don't know.
In 2019, we're actually going to do
This is so uplifting. This
another
podcast. I'm
another
glad
podcast.
Glad I was able to provide that for you.
Great.
You know what? That is.
We're 2 bottles deep.
This is
one
this
of my
is
favorites.
why I picked this, because I feel that a straight rye whiskey would have been sold at martinis, especially during this.
I think you're right.
Right. What do you know? What Clarence orders? Do you remember what?
Flaming rum punch.
Is that a
A
thing?
flaming rum punch, and then he says, "No, it's not cold enough. Not nearly cold enough." So what does he order? Do you remember?
Made what?
Oh yeah.
A White Russian.
Severe Bell Nature.
No.
White Russian.
Do you know? I'll have a flaming rum punch. Nope, it's not cold enough for that. Not nearly cold enough. I'll have a.
Martini.
We're gonna find out.
No, he's already ordered it.
Here, you ordered it. I missed it.
A mulled
A
wine.
mulled wine.
Oh, it's right. And
Light
be
on the-
lively.
Heavy on the cinnamon, light on the cloves.
That's right.
Oh, why should they be surprised when
Sounds
they see one?
disgusting.
This is like one of my favorite lines actually coming up here in a
Never
second.
grew up. How old are you anyway, Clarence?
293.
I like the guy next to fucking Jimmy Stewart. Look at
Next man.
All right.
Cute. That's,
out the door to the window.
What's wrong?
where do you get off calling me Nick?
That's your name.
Oh
Shit. Gower.
Gower. Old man Gower
That's
was
right.
still
That's what happens with George.
the
was never
roomy,
born.
watery eyes.
That's what would happen if you didn't live, right?
Look at that. Look at that close up of Jimmy Stewart.
How many people you affect in your
That's it.
life?
That's the thing.
Did you watch Jimmy Stewart's face in that moment?
Yeah.
He's not. He
Yeah.
wasn't even phased.
No, man.
Mr. Gower, this is George Bailey. Don't you know him? Oh.
No, you don't.
No.
Throw 'em out. Throw 'em out.
Mr. Gower! Hey, what is it?
Look at that high angle shot, right, John?
Yeah.
Is that great?
Some
The
dude standing
blocking
on
of
the
that.
bar.
Good lord.
20 years in jail for poisoning a kid. If you know him, you must be a jailbird yourself.
Yes.
Would
That's
you
why Greg
show
is
the
awesome.
gentleman to the door? Sure.
He's been
This
paying
way,
attention.
gentlemen.
Who says millennials don't
That's
pay
right.
attention?
Who says a millennial can't watch a black and white movie?
Nick's. Do you also notice that the bar is Nick's and not Martini's?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm giving
I'm
out
giving
wings.
wings.
Look at me. Hey, you know what? He gave out a lot of wings, man.
Yeah, he did.
Old Sheldon Leonard
Yeah.
became quite
Sheldon Leonard, look at you.
became quite the producer.
Did he?
Oh, Andy Griffith Show.
That guy?
Sheldon Leonard, yes. I Love Lucy.
What?
He
That
was
guy
a-
didn't know that.
He produced all those.
That's great.
Dick Van Dyke.
Look, who are
He did them all.
Oh my God, I love Dick Van Dyke.
He became a huge producer.
That sounds really dirty.
Oh, you guys are bitches, man. You know what? You can't in this day and age, nothing can go. Everything has to be ironic, full of shit. No one can say anything.
I watched Dick Van Dyke too, but
no one can say anything sincere like, "Oh my God, I love Dick Van Dyke," without people
That's what
going,
she said.
"Oh, you love Dick, you love Van, and you love Dyke." You know?
to tell you the truth, I love Dick Van Dyke too, dude. It's all good.
No papers.
No driver's license.
You don't exist.
No insurance policy.
This is where the movie goes noir.
Mm-hmm.
It's noir. The chiaroscuro lighting. How's that?
Yeah.
For a film major.
Yeah.
Film studies major, because I was a loser. I didn't study actually making movies.
Single source.
can
Yeah.
tell-
Is this a great gift to see? Would you want that gift? Would you want to see what the world would be like if you had never been born?
Would you?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I'm going home.
I don't think so.
You wouldn't want to see. You wouldn't want to see the relationships, your key relationships, without you in them.
If I'd never been born, well, there's certain relationships that would never have
Well,
happened.
right. Let's just forget the never been born part. Just look at your current relationships and then take you out of the equation. You don't want to see that? You wouldn't be curious to see that?
I didn't have a drink.
No,
Why?
no.
Why?
Because I'm afraid I would see.
Something better.
No.
You'd be afraid they'd be better off.
No,
fuck, he really dragged me down, didn't he?
I would be
Pottersville,
afraid,
by the way.
I would afraid that I would see things that would
Pottersville.
upset me. I wouldn't be upset about things. If
And
things
what would
got
upset
better.
you? What's something you would see that would
But
upset
then
you?
once again, it comes back to my kid.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Well-
it comes back to my kid. If I left unexpectedly or purposely, you know, I wouldn't want to see if it had bad ramifications on my kid. I just wouldn't want to see it. You know, despite having low moments and being as low as George Bailey, I know for a fact that I'm going to stick it out to the bitter
she
end,
is.
no matter what. I am. I'm just, you know, whatever happens to me when I go, it's going to be for the right reasons, health reasons, or natural causes, or whatever the case.
Oh,
may
it's going to be health reasons.
Oh, it's not going to. Please. I'm older than anybody in this room, and all of you have got more. Well, maybe not you. No, you're pretty healthy, aren't you? For the most
Apart
part.
from the drinking.
Apart from, yeah.
Well,
that's-
yeah,
present
that's
company.
right.
yeah. I'm not going to cast this throw
Yeah,
stone at
right,
that.
right.
I'm just telling you.
I'm just saying. No.
Oh, look at Ernie there. Or,
Yeah,
or
man.
Bert.
You know what? This is great too. The way Ernie's brow, the furrow in his brow,
Yeah.
is the absence of George Bailey.
Yeah.
Oh,
What's going on with you, strange man in the back? And
See,
we missed some plot
I guess
stories.
what I'm saying is I don't. You know, this is if George was never born.
Right.
I don't think me not being born could have affected that many lives.
Well, I
Like
don't know.
this.
Well, what do you mean? We're only talking about a handful of lives.
This is
Of
the whole
course your
town.
life- Your life
This is
affects
a-
more people than George's life.
This is the whole town of Bedford Falls.
No, but we're talking about.
Violet's an angry.
But all we know is George's effect on Bert, Ernie, Violet, Mary.
Well,
His
but what I was
kids.
going to
That's
say
a lot.
is no, the whole city,
You're
the
saying,
whole town.
do you really?
That's a lot
do
of people.
Do you really believe that your absence in the world would have affected less people than George? Think of all the people you moved on radio. Think of all your fans. Think of all the people listening to this show right now.
No.
Because
with your
they enjoy you.
career as,
So
as
your
a
radio
public
career has
personality,
been
you know?
your Bailey building alone.
Like, I mean, look at all the stuff at the children's hospital and stuff, buddy.
Yeah.
Like, Dino, seriously, this has become a Dino therapy session.
Not intended to be so. I never thought about it
You know,
like that. I guess
of all the
I
dumb, stupid
guess
fucking
I
jokes
keep
you
it
tell on the radio.
very focused, and it would be towards the loved ones in my life, my family, my daughter, girlfriend. I think about those things. Specific. I don't think about the wider span of it all.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't me in the last 24 years on radio to make your point, Andrew,
Someone else would do it.
it would have been somebody
Yeah.
else.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But it wasn't.
Somebody might
But
not
it
have
wasn't.
had the same thing that you do.
Maybe no, maybe not.
Actually, let me just go this far. It wouldn't have had the odds of somebody imparting that much humanity and realness and warmth.
Where's
on
the
a
raven
daily
and
basis.
squirrel?
Are we talking about the movie or are we talking about fucking Dino here?
I don't know.
I know. Now here,
But I don't know.
Here I am.
Because-
right.
But
This
but
guy's making me watch a movie I don't want to watch.
But
and I'm
we're
sitting
watching
here
this
telling you
movie.
how great he is.
We're watching. No, I don't want to hear how great I am. We're watching this movie because you and I, when it comes right down to it, to the raw nut of it, we both relate to George Bailey
Mom?
on a deep level.
Yes.
And that's why we're watching this movie. And that's why maybe some other people who are listening to this podcast are feeling the same way.
Well, and that's why this movie has been so successful for over however many 80 years. Or
You know how many
80,
people
but
don't
75,
commit
80
suicide because they see this?
Keep me here until I get over it.
all of them? I don't
It
know.
makes me want to commit suicide. It's just further reason why I should. But most people, this is why I'm different. Most people see this and they don't. They find hope. They find it's so beautiful. You know, I mean, I was obsessed with this movie. I was obsessed with Jimmy Stewart for many years, and I read so many things about people who wrote him letters and wrote Frank Capra letters about. This is very noir, by the way. This shot.
That's a great noir shot. You're right.
Yeah.
It definitely takes a different tone, you know,
Oh, it's a whole-
post clearance
darker
Yeah.
tone.
or whatever.
It's interesting that you mentioned and not to
Yeah, that's a
dwell on
cool
something
shot
as
right there.
negative
That's a horror
as-
film right
as-
there.
as suicide, but I just read where the suicide rate is up so high right now in current times that it has actually decreased the life expectancy level.
Yeah.
I believe that.
And
That's
the
interesting.
fentanyl on doorknobs.
Well, I'm saying.
And the fentanyl on doorknobs.
Well, I'm just saying
Well,
that
those two things combined.
that it's these are
I've
tough
been there, man.
times. I know you've been there,
I've been there. The doorknobs.
brother. I know you've been there.
Rubber gloves.
There you go.
There he is.
There's Harry Bailey.
That's his brother?
He saved everybody on that
He
fucking
broke through the
transport.
ice.
Oh, that's right. His brother was the guy who
Nope,
saved.
he never did that.
He's about to say.
No, he didn't.
Died. Harry wasn't there to save them because you weren't there to save Harry.
Wow, deep. Chain reaction. Butterfly effect.
It's the butterfly effect. Absolutely.
Totally.
There's no original ideas, Hansberry.
It's all came from this movie.
It's just a different way of telling the same story.
Don't you see what a mistake it would be to throw
Ashton
away?
Kutcher. Let's see where he ranks.
Look at that shot. Look at that.
Oh, well,
Oh, God, that was so beautiful, right?
This is good.
If you know where she is, tell me
So, real quick, the millennial question. Absence of color in a film.
This has been colorized, and I refuse to watch it in color.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. What is your question?
Well, but just, you know, in terms of shots and film and screens and stuff, do you think...
Color would have helped it?
I don't know.
No.
I don't know
Shut
really
up.
what I'm asking.
No.
Just
No.
throwing that out there for
No.
discussion.
At the time,
There's a movie you should see called, John, I'm sure you know it. You can help me out with this. It's called Visions of Light.
the documentary about black and white versus color.
No, it's just a documentary about cinematography.
Okay. Yep.
And that documentary is great. And they really lay out a sort of a just nice platform of ideas on how to how to gauge the quality of what you're seeing.
Right.
You know, black and white is gradations of gray.
Sure.
Right? There's the absence of light and there's the presence of light. And black and white in some ways is this really sort of difficult tightrope to walk. You know?
Sure. Yeah.
Color becomes another thing, right? It can distract. I don't know.
I don't know either. I remember in Chicago there was a cook at the Billy Goat cheeseburger. He was also a painter, and despite the fact that he painted, he was a painter as well, and he used colors. When it came to film, it always stuck with me. He said there are no good performances in color.
Who said that?
This is just a guy, a chef at the Billy Goat Cafe. An old Greek guy. No good performances in color. All the best performances in film are in black and white.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
And we just missed the fact. We just missed Mary and all that. You know, I don't know that
Get me back to my wife and kids.
without
Help me, Clarence, please.
him being born, if Mary would have.
Please.
Mary went to college for crying out loud.
Where
basically
did you find her? What was the?
In that version with
live
the
again.
listen, Wyatt, you gotta hear this.
Let me live again.
And how the snow comes down on that cue, and his voice, the break.
All right.
My take on Mary in that scene is that George is her soulmate, and that George is the human being for whom she was destined.
That's a
And
good point.
with his absence, she's just not fulfilled. She's just not. She just is a woman who hasn't found the man who appreciates, devours, and adores her.
All right, look at him. Right, look at that face. Look, he's bleeding.
Have a little more of that, and then like just a nip.
There's like 8 minutes left. Like, well, better polish off that bottle. This 16 bottle of bourbon, $1 bottle of bourbon has never tasted better.
It's good stuff.
Oh man,
Shot in the middle of July, this entire sequence.
maybe that's what I thought. All right,
amazing.
Maybe that's why I thought it was released in June. It was
July.
shot in July.
That's fucking July.
It was
dude.
shot in July.
Look at that shit.
Oh man,
That is a lot of work. That is a lot of work.
Look how the snow kicks up, right?
It's
You know that
so-
snow. You know that texture, that icy slash, like that slushy.
Yep.
That is just, look
You
at
know
that.
what? You can't hear.
And this
I
is
just
when
need
my-
to point
this
out
is-
real quick. Dimitri Tompkins' music
Yeah.
is beautiful here. We
It
can't
is.
hear it. I don't know. You know, it's because we're yapping.
Yeah,
away,
well,
but
we totally recommend to anybody who is, if you're watching this film for the first time with us, we strongly suggest, as we told Hansberry, to watch it all on your own to really appreciate it.
And then listen
portrait
to
of
it.
Peter Bailey.
Peter Bailey in the background there.
Right? How
Yeah.
great is that?
But I'm telling you,
That's deliberate.
from the time that he shifts back and he's in the real world, my heart
Have you seen my wife?
just slowly starts to swell.
There are the kids.
Kids.
So there it is. There
It
it
doesn't
is.
bother him
He
so much
kisses
now.
it.
It
No,
doesn't
no,
bother
no.
him so
right?
much
The
now.
thing that you hate,
The callback.
the thing that you hate,
That's the third time.
that becomes your anchor.
That's the rule of 3, by the way, right?
There's a rule of 3. It's in comedy and it's in.
Which,
I think
speaking
the
of,
callback is
that
a
brings us
comedy
right
thing, Dino,
back
it's
to
not
De
me.
Niro, the De Niro rule of 3.
Yeah.
You say something 3 times. That's De Niro's. You talking to me? You talking to me?
That's right.
You talking to me? A man,
Unless you're Tommy
a man
2 times.
becomes preeminent. He's expected to have
right.
enthusiasms, enthusiasms, and so on and so on.
Are there any more examples?
Yes, there are.
But we're about to see,
Oh,
like,
and there you go.
Angels.
That scene
it's,
right there is iconic.
That's
filmography.
that's great. He's so.
4 kids. Wow.
That kid
that
is
five?
like
I mean, right now,
seriously
Jimmy
choking
Stewart-
the fuck out of him.
Thinks he's still going to jail.
Right.
He still thinks that everything is
doesn't care.
wrong,
But it's
Right.
Christmas.
and it doesn't care.
Oh, and that kiss right there. You see how
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't stop kissing him.
No.
It was just like the reset button everybody needs every once in
All
a
right.
while, you know? I found $8 grand.
We're getting close to my scene.
Okay.
And we haven't seen your scene, or we
Yeah,
did.
it's
Did
co-
we
No,
see
we- no, we
Johnny's
had-
scene? Yeah,
we had
yeah,
his
yeah. We
scene.
saw Johnny's scene.
We had his scene. He when he was kissing the kid.
Yeah. The greatest scene in film, according to Johnny D.
Oh, there's the fucking asshole right there. He's giving his money.
Oh, hey, you gave me $700 the other day or whatever.
Look at his face.
Look at Zuzu. She's such a cute kid.
Yeah, seriously, you tell me that De Niro or Daniel Day-Lewis, either one of them can do that?
No, look, he emptied the jukebox.
So everybody's like, "Are you telling me that George Bailey needs help?"
This.
Oh, there's the only black person in the movie.
Oh man, Gower.
From the opening scene, the maid. Is she still sick, by the way?
I thought she died.
Uh-oh. Hey now.
She's no man.
There
she is. Where's she been? Such a great actress. He's the guy that dove into the pool.
Yep. The principal, right? Or is he the principal?
Yeah.
He had the committee.
There's the dickhead that needed $242.
No, that wasn't him.
That was earlier.
him.
Now get this. It's from London. Oh.
See, yeah.
Mr. Gower
Top
cabled
hats.
you need cash. Stop.
Stop.
My office instructed to advance you up to $25,000. Stop.
Stop.
Yeehaw and Merry Christmas, Sam Wainwright.
Who's that?
That's the guy. That's
He's
the
the rich
plastics
guy.
dude.
He's the rich asshole that was her boyfriend.
All right, it's now hang on. Oh man, I'm getting teary just
Yeah,
expecting
I
it.
can't, I'm losing.
Oh. She's been working on it all month.
It's paid off to hear Christmas songs in October for this moment.
And this is why Hansberry. This is why it's a Christmas movie.
He just gave his money.
Oh, my glasses are crooked.
Yeah, that's right.
There we go.
Tear it up.
That was the warrant for his arrest.
If he was black.
Are they gonna kiss yet?
No. Oh man, here it is.
Oh shit! There's his brother.
Ah,
He's alive.
You're alive. There's Bert or Ernie.
Oh, I left right in the middle of it. As soon as I got Mary's telegram. Good idea, Ernie. A
Here,
toast.
take a shot.
To my big brother, George, the richest man in town.
Yeah.
that's the one.
Last New Year's.
Ah,
This is like, it's one of the most perfect films ever.
no man is a failure who has
Best
friends.
Yep.
Thanks for the wings.
Here's Clarence.
That's a Christmas present from a very dear friend.
Look, Daddy, teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
That's right. That's right.
Attaboy,
Little wink.
Attaboy, Clarence.
Mom's there. Gower's there. The principal's there.
Teacher. Why do they just?
All right, well, I'm really mad. I'm really mad at you.
You can't help it. That scene with
It's good stuff, man.
Harry Bailey coming in
Yeah, he's
and the
the
richest
shock
man
of
in
a
town,
life.
and what Clarence writes at the end about friends. That's true. Friends.
Cheers. We're
Cheers,
rich,
guys.
We are rich, friends.
Yeah,
Friends. Oh man,
That was fun.
Johnny Diloretto.
I thought I would make. I thought.
Yeah,
I
I know,
really
man.
thought I would make.
I
it.
thought
You
so
did very
too.
good.
I thought so too. Then I thought, you know what the hell? You know what? This is how that movie makes me feel, and I feel good. I mean, I'm gonna watch it again.
Yeah,
before Christmas.
It's really kind of a testament to power of this movie is that I haven't watched it for 10 years because it's just so hard to come up
I know.
against that. And I thought this will be fun. We'll sit around. we'll drink, we'll watch it, we'll talk about it. And I thought it won't be able to have that power on me.
It still has the
if
power.
I'm detached,
Right.
and I'm drinking,
Right.
and I'm cracking wise,
Right.
It just shows
and,
the power of
bullshit,
cinema,
yeah.
Johnny. Just the
That
power of
movie is
cinema.
so powerful.
Yeah.
It cuts right through all that bullshit. Cuts right through all my bullshit.
We got hooked in.
Yeah. What did you think, Greg?
It was great. Like I said, I've never seen it, not by choice, just kind of by circumstance. And you're right in terms of filmography, in terms of acting and tugging at the heartstrings, a story. It's like I want to go home and watch it with.
And do you
my
understand
wife.
why it's a Christmas
but it's
movie?
still,
yeah.
Despite
Now
all
I know
of,
it's a Christmas movie.
despite all of us talking over it
Yeah,
and watching
but
it,
it's
and this
still-
did it? You felt a connection, or
Oh,
or what?
100%. Yeah, and like we talked about, we've already done our therapy for the session, but but we all can relate. We're all there's 4 dudes who all have kids, and we've all for one scene or another can relate. And
Even at your young age, can you
Yeah.
relate to George
Oh,
Bailey?
100%. And I think Johnny and I were striking a chord earlier about the fatherhood stuff. I mean, there's moments where I just want to go in there to my kids and just be like, shut the fuck up.
Right.
But you know what I mean? But you got to stay cool. And to your point, you can't, as the father figure, you got to keep your cool. And
You got to keep your cool. And that's
so it's
a
it's
desperate.
great.
And you know what? Let me ask you, as a father, how many kids you got?
I got 2.
Okay, how old are they?
So I got a 6-year-old and a
Soon to be 4.
Yeah, soon to be 4. Thanks, Tim.
Have
You're
you?
welcome.
I'm gonna. What did you say? What? was
Soon to be
He
4.
answered the question for me.
I answered
corrected
question
the
for him.
age.
How long have I been married, Dino? Because our anniversary, I think, is coming
It
up.
doesn't fucking end, dude. When you forget the fucking anniversary of your wedding, then you know you're
man.
there.
So you got these 2 kids. No, I was gonna say you do you in your eyes have you reached that point where you've like fallen?
Fallen how?
I'm getting there because right now they're still at the age where I am a fucking hero. I'm so strong.
Okay,
Everything
right.
I do is great. But you're right. There are moments now, due to outside bullshit, where I find myself getting bogged down
Yeah.
with work or whatever.
Sure.
So you're right. It's getting there. You're right.
Sure.
And I
Yeah.
haven't had the
And-
George
and-
Bailey moment yet, but I could see how it's so easy to creep in, and how I don't. And they're so innocent and beautiful right now. I don't want to crush that.
Well,
No, not at all.
I'll tell you the truth. I've crushed that.
well,
My kids
and your kids are a little bit older, right?
Well,
How
I'm
old
a
are
little
they?
bit older.
Yeah, but
And not to go, I'm not going to get into it, but I've hit a low. I've hit a couple of lows, and one of my recent lows really, I think, rattled my youngest.
How old?
He's 6,
Mm-hmm.
and
That's right when they just start soaking
we're
it in.
divorced.
Kindergarten, first grade.
Yeah, kindergarten, first grade. We're divorced. We have an agreement, week on, week off, right? The ex gets them for a week off. My oldest is 14, by the way. He's a little harder.
Sure.
he's a little more like you.
They're both like me, but this little one recently saw me at my lowest.
That's
He
tough.
saw me at my lowest.
That's hard.
Yeah,
That's hard.
he
That's
saw
something
me,
You never want your
No.
kids to see that.
and he said something like a couple of weeks ago. I got a message from my ex that said, "Hey, Franco said he doesn't want to go."
Wow. You don't want to come over.
Does he not want to come over? Did he not want to come over because he didn't want to see you at that point? Or did he not want to go
Yeah, I think the kid was stressed out.
stressed out? Have you recouped from it?
You're getting there?
Yeah.
100%.
You're getting there, right?
All
You're
right.
getting there?
As soon as I heard that, I was like, "Fuck that."
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, look, I don't want to leave this podcast.
No,
on-
no. I want to say this.
on a
I
down
want to say
note.
this.
though, but
I heard that
yes,
kid
it's
say
good.
that.
Yeah,
I
I
was
get
like,
it. I get it.
Fuck, that will never happen
I
again.
get it.
And you use it to
You
bounce
want
back.
you want to be
Yeah. And we had a great. It's been great.
Oh, good.
That's good.
Good.
But
Because
I
you-
needed to hear that.
Well, sometimes that's what it takes.
I'm fucking mad at you.
I know you are. I know. I'll make it up to you when we do the Western podcast. When we do the Western podcast, you can go back to unless you get really sentimental over Westerns.
I do, depending on what Western. Outlaw Josie Wells, Unforgiven.
Well, look, I know that the second part of the movie was an hour and 10 minutes long, so we should probably start wrapping
and
it
I
up.
love this setup, by the way, and let's make a promise to do more of these.
I promise you nothing because I keep my promises, and that way if I don't promise you, then I won't feel bad if we don't do it, but okay.
On YouTube, subscribe at Whiskey Business with Dino Tripodis because hopefully if all the technical
Let's
goes,
not talk
goes
about
well,
this.
Yeah,
you'll be
everything
able
goes
to
well.
have. You'll be able to
we'll
watch
be
watch us.
And let me just say, include John. First of all, let me thank our guest commentator, frequent guest on the podcast now, Johnny
Thanks,
Diloretto.
Johnny.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Many thanks to the two gentlemen to my right, John Whitney, who produces our YouTube video, and Greg Hansberry, who produces the audio portion of it. And let me just say sincerely to all of you in 2018 who have tuned into Whiskey Business, who have subscribed to Whiskey Business, who continue to make Whiskey Business grow, we sincerely thank you. We will be back 2019, bigger, better, stronger, funnier, more sentimental, all the things that you probably
More tears, more laughs.
More tears, more laughs. We got
No,
a
wait.
lot.
Let me ask you something.
Sure,
before
man.
you-
Great.
Am I the only idiot that's ever cried on this show?
No.
No,
No?
you're not.
Oh,
No.
wait,
You're the only idiot who's
no,
cried
no, and then
twice,
I need to
though.
know
No,
who.
no.
What?
You're the only idiot who has cried twice.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. You do hold the.
Oh, okay, who's
yeah.
cried?
But
You
only
hold
the
be-
record.
Only because you've been on more frequently than some others.
Yeah,
That's the only
who
reason.
else has cried?
I've cried.
Oh, come on.
Does that count?
Does that count?
No, it does not count.
Does that count?
I want to know who Greg
All
was
right.
thinking of.
I'll go back to the archives, which, by the way, you can subscribe at iTunes.
There you go. There you go.
And listen to the archive while we're on a little hiatus for Christmas. And
Yeah,
such.
this part 2 is our wrap up for the
A lot of great
2018
episodes.
season. And
All right, nice. Who cried?
TJ cried.
TJ cried.
TJ
teared up a little
This
bit.
is our buddy talking about his
talked about his father.
who passed
Yeah.
away.
We talked about that
Who's
episode.
TJ?
Was,
And I
I don't
cried
know.
because
TJ
it was
was
the
our-
first
TJ
time and last time I tried Pappy Van Winkle.
Yeah, TJ was our old program
Wow.
director, and it was called the episode was called Fathers and Sons, where we really got it. His father had just
Okay.
recently passed away,
Yeah.
and we talked. We got into that, and we got into some serious stuff with you as well. I mean, that's what I love about this podcast. That's why I call it a podcast, not so much about whiskey as it is one with whiskey. Yeah, we have.
Right.
Yeah, we have
The whiskey. Yeah.
It's the with part
whiskey.
that gets
Yeah.
you to this shit.
Yeah, this is our 74th bottle.
The whiskey greases the road,
Yeah.
Johnny.
I'm such a sucker. I'm such an idiot.
Coming to my web, said the spider to the fly.
I'm an idiot. That's
You're not
so
an idiot.
stupid. I
You're
knew
a
I was.
great-
I knew this was
Dude,
gonna happen.
you're a great guest. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas
Merry
to you.
We
Christmas.
appreciate
I
your
love
candor
holidays.
and the truth.
Everybody, guys,
all there's
thank
to
you
it.
so
This
much.
is awesome. This
for
could
being,
not have gone off better. Thank you guys.
Tremendous assets to this podcast.
And Greg saying, "This is not a Christmas."
What the fuck?
And again,
There's
to all
not
of you,
even any snow. We've watched this fucking movie for an hour.
hey, and to all of you out there who listen and subscribe to Whiskey Business, thank you. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, and until the next bottle in 2019, see ya.